CS Commander calls for more support. Armed robbery ends in tragedy. And PNG men's softball team starts training.
This is the National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
Good evening. Thank you for joining me. This is Sunday's news. Children's issues and welfare need to become a priority for Papua New Guinea. Bomana Jail Commander Kidi Keko says projects and policies that seek to address children's issues can only work if those in authority fully participate in these efforts.
Kids go to school. Are they going to school?
Commander Keko confirmed that of the 2,000 detainees at Bomana Correctional Service, 60% are children. Another group of children who also live in the prison are not offenders but are born to women detainees. Commander Keko was adamant that projects like the NCDC Urban Children's Empowerment Program and the Lookouts in Pikinini Act can only work if it receives the needed support from the top.
Many a times we stand and look at our young people, the lower down the rank or whatever, to do it. And they're doing a fantastic job. But when there's no support from us, those of us who are in authority, it means nothing. It will never happen. It won't go the way we want to go. But I know my colleagues out there will be watching or listening. That's a challenge for all of us to help develop Papua New Guinea.
The Urban Children's Empowerment Program is a project by NCDC to process street kids in Port Moresby to go back to their families or be looked after by the state and non-governmental organizations to eradicate the issue of having street kids in the city. Commander Keko says the education system plays a big role in preventing children from ending up on the streets or in prison. He added that more research needs to be done to identify the problem.
They're future leaders, and it worries me a lot to see kids just running around doing nothing. And I always question, is our education system okay? Are we driving the kind of lessons or program that is suitable to students, children? Or do we need to look at our education system to give us a system that is more related to where they are, their circumstances are? Because not everybody comes from one class of living standards or so. We all come from different groupings, ethnic groups or so.
Meanwhile, the Department of Community Development will be tabling the Lookout in Pikinini Act in May, which will address children's issues and rights. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News.
As more people continue to migrate into towns and cities in Papua New Guinea, there must be proper plans in place to ensure that they have access to affordable housing. This is according to Max Cap, Executive Director of the Office of Urbanization.
Urban periphery.
In an interview with MTV, Mr. Cap says properly planning urban areas is a challenge in a country like PNG, where the rollout of services, especially public utilities, is not on par with the rate of urban migration.
Our towns and cities have been expanding and expanding, but not expanding in a way where it's planned and properly laid out. It's expanding informally. The informal sectors and informal housing have been the ones that have been the greatest, expansions. So the city like Port Moresby, some people have estimated that it's got 45% of it all informal. And the same story can be said to be happening in Madang or in Leh. All our major towns and cities have been facing this kind of problem.
As part of efforts in dealing with urbanization, the office has identified certain sites that are being used as models on dealing with urban migration. These are located in the following areas: Fanyufa, Eastern Highlands Province; Taurama Valley, National Capital District; Mins, Jiwaka Province; and Umi in the Morobe Province. Furthermore, through a recently launched government program on affordable land, housing and financing, the Office of Urbanization has also been nominated as the implementing agency. They will facilitate for Papua New Guineans to have the opportunity to own their own homes through the proper channels. They have commenced work on this program with an estate planned for Gerehu Stage 3 in the National Capital District.
The affordable land part of it is the part that we have started at Gerehu 3B2, where government is willing to put the money to do the servicing of the land, to survey it and to put the roadworks you need, to get the title, to do the section lot allotments, and then give these service blocks to deserving Papua New Guineans.
Sarah Aupong, National MTV News.
More work is needed to empower and strengthen the roles of the Ombudsman Commission. According to opposition leader Don Pollier, the watchdog's role is still entrapped within current legislation. Pollier made this call as the Ombudsman Commission establishes its offices around the country.
Opposition leader Don Pollier says the Ombudsman Commission must not be seen as an agent that punishes leaders. Rather, it must be upheld as an agent for good governance and transparency. Pollier described current legislation as being too weak to empower OC's roles and responsibilities. He wants to see more support to strengthen the watchdog's role.
We must strengthen law enforcement. We must strengthen our watchdogs. We have to create allow no loopholes to exist.
Mr. Pollier said no leader is perfect, but as the government plans to increase funds to district, local level governments and key agencies for development purposes, all agencies of the law and justice sector must be scaled to do better and punish those found guilty.
Meaning the rule of law, the most appropriate laws, not obsolete ones, and those that enforce the law, and then those that also bring to justice lawbreakers. Those institutions and systems must be strengthened and must be supported, must be there in place in this country.
The opposition leader said the establishment of OC's offices around the country is a good start to oversee levels of government. Meanwhile, the OC is still collecting responses to develop a policy paper to fulfill its constitutional mandate. Jagla Power Jr. National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. We'll have more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. A security guard is dead and another fighting for his life at the Port Moresby General Hospital. Both security guards were shot during an armed robbery at the Badili Stop and Shop shopping center on Saturday morning. Tekla Gunga with more on this story.
Witnesses say a group of 5 men allegedly drove into the business premises at around 7:30 yesterday morning. They said they were dressed in Stop and Shop uniform and that confused the security guards. The guards from the Pacific Corporate Security, who are contracted to guard the area, said they were busy at the main entrance of the store and didn't know an hold-up was happening inside the store. The robbery was reported to the Badili police station, approximately 30 meters from the shop. At the time this footage was taken, store supervisors refused to comment on camera, saying the matter is under police investigations. However, when MTV visited the Badili police station this afternoon, police say not much detail was recorded from the robbery and store supervisors are yet to give their statements in order to build their case before a proper investigation can commence. PCS guards who spoke off camera claimed the deceased colleague was shot in his right shoulder with a high-powered gun. He was rushed to the hospital but died a while later. The other injured guard is currently at Pomjan with bullet wounds to his arm. The shop was closed for an entire day yesterday and resumed business today. Additional guards from Black Swan International are now assisting PCS to provide security for Stop and Shop customers. Tekla Gunga, National MTV News.
2 people are dead following a clash between warring tribes in Hela province last night. The clash occurred within the Hulia area. Last night, the road leading to Southern Highlands was closed, but quick police intervention has since seen the roads reopened. Police are closely monitoring the situation as there have been rumors of payback killings which are common in the area. The deceased were laid beside the road as women, children and men mourned the deaths. Police in Hela are yet to release a formal statement. In a worrying development, police barracks in Port Moresby are slowly becoming betel nut trade centres. Whilst enforcing the betel nut ban in the city, police officers have also been accused of neglecting their own backyards. Despite the betel nut ban restraining residents from selling and chewing in public places, the restricted nut is big business for police officers and their families.
Betel nut is becoming a big business in police barracks around Port Moresby.
Because of the money that is involved and that is involved in paying our officers, they continue to forget their responsibility and their code of ethics as to what their purposes are as police officers.
Gordon's Barracks, the biggest police resident, is a haven for betel nut trade. Wife of police officers are seen selling the restricted nut in front of their residential homes. The officers, who are law enforcers and supposed to lead by example, are doing the opposite.
I think we're the biggest facilitator of boy selling in the Metropolitan Command, in NCD. And I think we're not doing enough. Commanders of the barracks are not doing enough. The Metropolitan Command, Soup Operations, Soup of Administration, all the station commanders, including my command, me as the commander, we need to, really be honest about ourselves.
While the barracks are a safe haven for betel nut buyers, police officers have seemingly bypassed their backyards and on several occasions have attacked civilians selling betel nut on the streets. One recent incident happened last week where police officers attacked the popular Ruborogo betel nut market along Iritano Highway, where properties were destroyed. Following this act, 6 officers were suspended, awaiting investigation. Selling of betel nut is popular in other barracks as well. Similar scenes can be seen in Waigani Barracks, where betel nut is sold in comfort by the boys in blue. The betel nut enforcers and the police hierarchy have done little to address this issue in the police barracks. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Coming up in Trukai Sports, the national softball squad commences training for the Pacific Games. That and more after these messages.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Last week saw the Oil Search Pacific Games relay team arrive in the Highlands region for the first time as part of their 100-day journey across Papua New Guinea. Tonight we feature highlights as they ventured into the Highlands region.
Monday morning, they flew in by charter to Goroka to be met by the Asaro Madman at the airport. The town relay started at Messy Hill to a colorful and exciting welcome. The track was decorated to match the occasion. The relay passed through Goroka town and included a trip on the town fire truck. It finished at the UNICEF Just Play Day at the NSI Oval. Tuesday, the relay drove to Yonki for a day with game sponsor PNG Power. The baton crossed the dam and causeway and got to go underground 230 meters to the Yonki generator room. From there, the baton traveled to Kundiawa, crossing the Daulo Pass, where the team picked up circlets of flowers from the roadside kids. Teams of young runners carried the baton from Kundiawa to the base of Mount Wilhelm, climbing over 1,000 meters. Some ran the entire way. The next day saw the baton make the climb to the top of PNG, the Mount Wilhelm summit, 4,500 meters above sea level, being the second highest peak in the southern hemisphere. The Oil Search Pacific Games relay has now traveled 13,500 kilometers across PNG, and over 165,000 people have experienced the relay. The baton journey continues.
The Papua New Guinea men's softball train-on squad is now training in Lae in preparation for the 2015 Pacific Games. Port Moresby-based players flew into Lae recently and were joined by the Lae-based squad members for a friendly match. The national squad will be in training throughout this week, with the final team to be finalized for lead-up matches in Australia. Sylvester Gawi reports from Lae.
The Papua New Guinea national men's train-on squad showed much enthusiasm when they commenced training yesterday at the Erikonal Reserve. They are basically here to have a game time with local clubs in Lae in preparation for an Australian state championship next weekend. Papua New Guinea captain Gabriel Pamel Jr. says the Lae Softball Association sent an invitation for the Port Moresby players to come over, as there is currently no competition for them to take part in.
We started the training last year, July, and I think it basically like all the boys have been training in Moresby, some boys in Medang, and some in Lae. So yeah, basically we've been doing like ball works and everything, but mostly it was in the gym.
Papua New Guinea's performance in the sport of softball in the last South Pacific Games was outstanding. Our softball men and women teams were once crowned the champions, taking out the gold medals respectively in the 2007 South Pacific Games. Today, Papua New Guinea men are now looking at maintaining their top form and taking out the top honors on home soil in July.
Our aim is just to do well in the Pacific Games, and yeah, the boys are confident enough to win gold.
The Papua New Guinea men's softball squad retains 5 players from the last South Pacific Games in the likes of Denny Malum, Denny Tovia, Dick Bart Jr., Ezekiel Tovia Jr., and Mark Simon. 3 players from Medang will also be joining them next week in their training and preparations. Sylvester Gawi, National MTV Sports, Lae.
Two lawn bowls and the Papua New Guinea lawn bowls national team are preparing well in the lead-up to the 2015 Pacific Games. The final team, 7 men and 7 women, will be travelling to Cairns for further training on synthetic surfaces. Team coach Willie Stevens says they will also be training in Lae and Bololo to fine-tune their skills.
Trials, the best surfaces we can have unfortunately over on the other side of the border, which is in Lae, and Lae being our premier club as well. We've done most of our training and trials over in both in Lae and Bulolo, and we've programmed one training session which is going to be in Lae straight after Cairns. So as of May 17, we should be out of Port Moresby to do a Cairns Far North Queensland tour. So we'll do 4 or 5 clubs down there on synthetic. Then on our way back here on our rest days, we should be able to have opportunity to play in Lae as well again.
2 Aussie rules now in the Junior AFL competition went into round 3 matches on Saturday at the Mara Barracks Oval. Students provided much-needed entertainment, representing their schools in the different divisions. A good number of parents and spectators turned up as well, supporting the juniors.
In the Under-15 girls division, Boreboa played Ted Diro. Both teams went head-to-head, ending the first half on 7 points. In the second half, Ted Diro proved too strong in the end, coming out victors 28 points to 7. In other results, Bavaroko had a close encounter against Ward Street Primary, edging out a victory 18-15. And St. Paul trashed Coronation Primary School 37 points to 1. In the Under-15 boys division, Ward Strip took on Countryside boys from Bomana Primary. The young talents from Ward Strip proved too good, claiming a win 14-7. And in other results, Ted Diro came out victorious against Boreboa, keeping them scoreless right through the end in a 13-0 victory. Elijah Lavette, National MTV Sports.
After 5 years, a snooker competition has been revived in Lae. Held at the Aviat Club, the China Harbour Engineering 8-ball snooker competition went into round 7 this weekend. The competition has brought together 9 corporate teams, including a Lae media team, with the aim of building relationships between business houses and the community.
Aviat Club's pool competition started about 5 weeks ago, featuring teams from corporate, government and of course the media team. It is a competition aimed at bringing together snooker players and followers and to land the new rules in place for international snooker competitions.
And we're all learning because the rules we used probably outdated some 20 years ago.
Aviat Club President Karo Gamoga says the snooker competition in Lae died out in the last couple of years, and just after the PNG Games, players decided to resurrect the competition.
So recently when we had the PNG Games, some of our members took part and they now know the rules, so they've introduced this comp. And at the Aviate now, we're trying to introduce this comp.
Well, the Aviate pool competition may not seem big like Port Moresby's media pool competition. It is only the beginning of bigger competition planned by the organizers.
After this comp, we want to put what we call the Lay Corporate 8-Ball competition. And I'd like to encourage the business community in Lay to come forward with their members and to participate. We're going to do a big promotion and big awareness in probably next month.
The competition's prize money this year stands at 2,500 kina, but it is expected to get bigger as the competition grows. Games are played on Wednesdays to Friday at 8 p.m. and weekends from 4 p.m. Sylvester Gawi, National MTV Sports, Lay.
And that ends True Kai Sports for tonight. I'll bring you the weather details after the break.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Taking a quick look at the weather for tonight in the southern region, Port Moresby mostly fine, showers in Daru, Popondetta, Alotau and Kerma. To the Momasa region, Lay you can expect showers, brief showers at times for Medang and mostly fine in Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands, fine weather expected in Lorengau, thundery showers developing in Buka, mostly fine in Kavieng and showers at times for Kimbe, Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, all centres cloudy with light showers and morning fog. And that has been the news, sports and weather for today. I'm Mary Batulo. On behalf of the news team, you have a pleasant working week. Bye for now.